So here is blowing out the cold air. Right here, a little bit of that. Here is sucking in the hot air. We've got an air filter that we'll have to wash out. This is our temperature control, so we can adjust our temperature up or down as we deem fit. I did already connect it to the Wi-Fi. There's instructions, you download the app to do that. This is our condensate drain, and so when you have an air conditioner running, you create a liquid water that's called condensate, and it'll be able to drain out and it goes to the outside. Still gonna put in a scooch in there, so don't worry about that. This is our traditional TPR, temperature pressure relief valve, and so it goes out the wall there. Up on top, we have our cold water in and our hot water out, and our electrical disconnect with our wire coming to it. And so unlike a traditional water heater, you have your hot and your cold coming in on the top. This one, the hot water out leaves at the top and the cold water in comes in at the bottom. Down here is a cool little device to work with our leak detection to turn off water going into the tank. So that's only gonna help if the tank leaks, not if the water pipes leak. This is our thermal expansion tank, and so as water heats up, it expands, and inside of that is an air bladder. These are my old gas lines that I no longer need. One's gonna still remain for the dryer. Under it, we got our drip pan. And that's the scratch that we got from shipping. So thank you, Home Depot and your shipping company. That was completely damaged and dented. I got some of the dents out, but that's a pretty looking water heater. Follow me for more unique videos. I don't know what to say. Click the link up here or down here, or really it's probably gonna be in the description. I don't know how to add links to a video. Okay, so if you found me on YouTube, you probably are doing the same thing that I'm doing, or at least wanting to learn a little bit more about it. So I took out a gas water heater from right here, and now we're gonna put in a heat pump or a hybrid water heater. So the first thing I need to do is actually upgrade and put in a drip pan under my unit. So let's go ahead and see how that's done. And it's actually going to be a little bit more complicated than I just realized. So we're going to have to find the location where the new water heater is going to be, so that we know where then the water heater and the size of the pipe and everything are going to be. So this will be fun. Let me get my drill. Okay, so down here, I'm going to find where I want the hole. This is actually an exterior wall. So I'm going to line up my hole and make a mark where I think I want this to go out. And that'll give me some space. And then I'm actually using a 1 3/8 inch bit. But you want your bit to be about the diameter of the new pipe that you're putting in. Slightly bigger is always a plus. And one thing I've already learned with this is you're not gonna need to go over or through the bottom plate because of how low on the ground this is. Nice and easy. Okay, so I quickly found out that there was a water pipe behind this hole. So I moved over here. There's another water pipe behind that hole. Now that right one actually is lined up with my hot pipe up there. So that does make sense. And I could have prevented that one. But that left one doesn't make sense. So this is a new cool little happy side effect. More work. Okay, so now that I've got my hole all the way through, I want a section of pipe to be able to go through the wall. And this one wasn't quite long enough, so we're gonna add a couple inches to it. I got my handy dandy, doesn't know how it wants to work, pipe cutter right here. And we'll just size it up and add a couple inches. Okay. ratchets down. It's a 1-inch pipe, so it's about as big as this pipe cutter will handle. But just like that, it goes in. And we'll actually reuse this piece as our now going down piece. So we'll fit this through, put our words pointing down, and we'll just point that down. And we will actually not seal this side. We'll caulk this to the wall, but in case I ever need to service this, there's no necessary reason to caulk this joint, to glue this joint. So we'll just caulk to make sure rainwater can't get in our house, but we'll leave the joints unsealed so we can come back later. Okay, so now we're back on the inside, and I just want to kind of test fit my pieces. The inside, we do want to actually seal our pipe, so we're gonna make sure there's no burrs. Got a little bit of dirt and debris. I'm gonna put down just the Spanish instructions for my floors because I don't need those anymore. Okay, so I was able to get that off. One trick I've found is I will use the handle of a pair of big pliers around the lid to open that up. And so this is just some PVC clear cement. Gonna go around there, insides and outsides. Ooh, that smells good. There we go. Okay, so now the drain pan is done. So it's actually very common for you to have to order a heat pump water heater. They just don't have these on the store shelves yet. So the first thing you want to do is actually inspect your box and document. So mine actually came with a scratch on the unit. And I'm curious, because we've got some other bangs and dings on this box, what we'll find out. But let's unbox it, and then we'll get this thing inside. Okay, so now that we have the whole thing inside, we do want to take a look at it. And so I've got a bunch of dents right there. Got a big scratch up here. And those are going to be what I'm going to put on the back of the water heater. But over here, our outlet is dented in. Kind of see that we got a big scratch up there. Doesn't look, a little bit of denting up here. So we are going to talk to, we got this one from Home Depot, talk to the Home Depot and the shipper and rheem and see what they want to do. If they want to replace it, if they want to give me a discount, if they say I shouldn't use it at all, we'll see what they want to do. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is actually look at the orientation of our water heater and how it's going to fit. So this has a fan that's going to actually be blowing the conditioned air, so cold air, out. I don't want to put this right against my wall. Previously, this water heater was facing directly out this way. This time, I'm actually going to face the water heater 90 degrees in an angle. to be able to allow the airflow to actually shoot out this way. So pay attention to where this is. This is actually a big laundry room, so we got plenty of space in here to be able to share that air, because this will pull air. Ideally, you'd put this in either like a basement or a garage. I'm in South Alabama, and we have plenty of hot air inside of our houses for about 10 months out of the year. So it'll actually help condition this laundry room space to be able to get a better comfort in this. And this laundry room actually is at the end of a duct run. So this room is naturally a little bit more warm than the rest of the house. So it'll help for multiple ways in that regard. Okay, so now that I know where it's going and which position it's gonna go in, I'm actually going to lift it up somehow and get it into my drain can. One thing about these heat pump water heaters, they're very top heavy, and compared to an electric or a gas tanked water heater, they're extremely heavy. Ideally, you want to take 2 or more people to lift one of these into place. Luckily, I've got a bad back and I go to the chiropractor a lot, and this isn't my day job, so if I do break my back, I don't have workers' comp. And I don't know how I want to actually lift this thing up. Okay, now is the time I wish I had a wife, or a friend. I don't want to lift on these nipples. Okay. So I didn't talk about drip pan sizing, but you want your drip pan to be 2 inches bigger than your water heater tank. And I bought this pan before I bought the tank, and we're about 1.5 inches instead of 2 inches. So now I'm noticing that my old water lines are touching my water tank, so I'm going to cut those out. Okay, so I've got my handy dandy pipe cutter. Cool thing about this house is they actually had a shutoff valve on the hot side and a shutoff valve on the cold side. So I've got plenty of that. I want to leave just enough on my pipe to be able to solder in without doing anything excessive and not having to replace any of these valves. The water lines on a hybrid water heater like this are in a completely different location than almost any other tanked electric water heater. Well, there we go. They actually resemble like what you would see on a mobile home property. Hope you're not in the frame. Look at that. Okay, so we're gonna cut this one off too. And if you hear me breathing heavy, it's because I got about an extra 150 pounds on me. My wife likes to cook, and then she charges me when I go through the drive-thru. And oh shit! Whew, I caught you. Okay, well, I won't talk bad about my wife anymore. She knows. Okay, so I just got back from Home Depot. I went ahead and cut and put my copper together. I figured if you're watching this video, you have some kind of plumbing experience and you're either going to use PEX, copper, or CPVC, or maybe by the future there's some other pipe out there, and they all have different fittings, so there's no point in me wasting time showing you how I did that. So we will move on. Did want to point out, so my hot side's on this side, and it goes down and goes into this upper one. My cold on the far side is going to sneak down in the back. It's going to come over, hit my thermal expansion tank, and then it's in it. The inlet is there at the bottom near our drain port. So it's a little different. I just want to point that out. We still got a couple steps to go. Okay, YouTube, I have now finished the installation of my heat pump water heater. You can hear it going in the background. Want to give you just a little tour of how it's set up. Okay, so now we are almost done. I've plumbed it, got our electrical attached, and now we're gonna go ahead and most importantly, we have filled it with water now. And we were able to check for leaks. I did have a small leak at one of these and then a little bit at this packing nut. So we did have to do a little bit of extra, but honestly not too bad. I still will install my TPR. We've got the old pipe in the back there that I'll just connect it to. But let's see how it turns on. Okay, and I've got the breaker on. So I haven't done this yet. We're learning this together here. So. I hear a couple clicks coming from in this top area. Go ahead and close this. Over here is where our fan will blow the air out. Let's see, what's just a scroll. So we're fine with 120. We do want an energy saver mode. So now this is kicked on, and I can actually feel a little bit of chill coming out of that. And it just turned on. Got our filter up there. We have not had hot water on this side of the house for a couple weeks because I had to take it out to put in new floors, the old gas. And now, I mean, that's relatively quiet. Quieter than a window air conditioner. That's doubly sure, maybe even half the volume of a window air conditioner. And I will eventually program this into Wi-Fi. We're gonna go ahead and turn it off because I just realized I did not put in the condensate. So we will get back to you on that. So here is blowing out the cold air. Right here, a little bit of that. Here is sucking in the hot air. We've got an air filter that we'll have to wash out. This is our temperature control, so we can adjust our temperature up or down as we deem fit. I did already connect it to the Wi-Fi. There's instructions, you download the app to do that. This is our condensate drain, and so when you have an air conditioner running, you create a liquid water that's called condensate, and it'll be able to drain out and it goes to the outside. I'm still gonna put in a scooch in there, so don't worry about that. This is our traditional TPR, temperature pressure relief valve, and so it goes out the wall there. Up on top, we have our cold water in and our hot water out, and our electrical disconnect with our wire coming to it. And so unlike a traditional water heater, you have your hot and your cold coming in on the top. This one, the hot water out leaves at the top and the cold water in comes in at the bottom. Down here is a cool little device to work with our leak detection to turn off water going into the tank. So that's only gonna help if the tank leaks, not if the water pipes leak. This is our thermal expansion tank, and so as water heats up, it expands, and inside of that is an air bladder. These are my old gas lines that I no longer need. One's gonna still remain for the dryer. Under it, we got our drip pan. And that's the scratch that we got from shipping. So thank you, Home Depot and your shipping company. That was completely damaged and dented. I got some of the dents out, but that's a pretty looking water heater. follow me for more unique videos. I don't know what to say. Click the link up here or down here, or really it's probably gonna be in the description. I don't know how to add links to a video.